Go ahead and check things out. Kind of reminds you of the Cass Country store a little bit. It even smells like the Cass Country store in here. And then mom and pop photographs upstairs. Where's our post office from Muddy Creek Forks? Let's get some shots of this.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Delta right there. And that's here.
I'll sign my name in.
Yeah, Dolly always signs in. Modern stuff. Yeah, this is a very Cass Country store like. No, this isn't Hooterville. Yeah, I wish I could. A videotape recorded messages. I can help with that, maybe.
Oh, train tickets? Back in the ticket?
Have to get that running again. I'd like to ride that too. From Shortstown to New Freedom. Nice place. I said almost at the Cass Country store or Sharp's store. Doesn't this remind me of Sharp's store in Lady Fork, West Virginia? I eat that myself. Bought some of that just a couple days ago. Yeah, I used to get Charles chips too. Just love old joints like this. Please stay this way. You know, trying some modern stuff here. I feel like I just stepped back in time into the 1940s. Even got DVDs by Charles Mann himself. I met the man myself 20 years ago. I met Mr. Mann, the man myself. Nice player piano right there. I'll head on up and check out the photographs. Stairs in the station. Old wooden stairway, my favorite. There were oldies but goodies up here. Don't want to shoot this video too long. Dolly would be bored watching it tonight. The former Long Green station there became residence like most of the others that survived. But that one fell down in the mid-'80s and got rebuilt.
That was very good. But we're in a store here, and this is for when you're wrapping.
Ice one?
Wow.
It's just a tiny bit away. It's to crush ice. So you just
Yeah, I wish I could.
No. To a time when you didn't have refrigeration, and you had to grow your cabbage, and if you wanted cabbage in the spring, you had to have preserved it over the winter, right?
All kinds of ins and outs to this place. Back to the steps you came up. And down to the station platform here.
Okay. Gross stressing.
Even a diorama here of the area. We are in there right now. We boarded the train right there. Now we parked down here in the woods somewhere. Even got a projection room. What's happening out there? Anything? Just funky glass in the window here. And there's where I'm parked. Like a teacher would say in school, Karis, get back in here. Okay, I'm back in.
Yeah, right.
And more light bulbs on a wire, like a Sharp store. First time in digital. Yeah, what's he talking about?
Anything you name it, we have it. And if it doesn't have it, we have it tomorrow. You kept the store open from the time you opened up until last customer.
Hope I lived that long.
All the stores in the Airville, et cetera.
Problem is, I can't understand a word he's saying.
Last customer went home.
Oh, an elevator. Old wooden one.
So this elevator was built in 1899 when Anne Grove built the store. And so it's 109 years old, still works just fine. When we bought the store, there was one piece of bent metal because somebody had let it go zooming too fast. And but other than that, it all worked. We replaced the ropes, and it's fine. The reason for the elevator was that at the time, everything that came in, all the merchandise for the store came in by rail. And the things that the people in the community produced were shipped out by rail. So all the grain and the flour and things were shipped out by rail. The produce was canned here and shipped out by rail. So, but here in the store, what they would do, the train would come in, they would put the merchandise off onto the platform, they would just wheel it up the platform, down the store porch, and one floor underneath us, there's an extra wide door with a straight shot onto the elevator, and the elevator would take it to whichever of the 4 floors they needed it. Because they sold in the basement and each of the levels. In fact, they had so much stuff that they sold stuff going down the stairs and on the landing, and out underneath the porch they had fencing. So all kinds of things that work on it. This is a safety gate. It goes up, you know, I'm getting on and off here, getting my things. That'll stay up. As soon as I move the elevator cage from this floor, that'll come down all by itself. And there are two ropes. You just watch that. It's going to move. There are 2 ropes to run the elevator. This little one is the brake rope. As long as it's pulled down, the brakes are on and you can't move it. The big one is the drive rope. And it's a big loop. It goes all the way up over a pulley that I'm going to show you in a minute, all the way down in the basement. And it just keeps going round and round till you get to the elevator where you want. You pull down on here to make it go up, and down on here to make it go down. So, if I release the brake, what do you think is going to happen? And I don't touch the ropes. What do you think is going to happen to the elevator?
The door's gonna come down.
Yeah, the door will come down. That's true. What else?
Move?
What will happen to the elevator cage if I release the brake?
It should stay.
No.
It'll stay there. Have any other votes? Everybody agrees it goes
He wants to see it move, so maybe we'll move.
Okay, there we go. Well, we're gonna, releasing this is just a clip that keeps somebody else from doing it. But if you release the brake, what happens is,
Okay.
What? It goes
goes
up.
up. Watch up here and you can see how it releases the gate. It goes up. Now, why did the elevator go up?
Counterweight.
I can't, yeah, right.
Counter rate, got it,
That's it.
yes. At the
was
end
gonna
of
say that.
the the cable is attached to a counterweight that runs in this channel. So as it's like being on a big seesaw, the heaviest thing goes down, and I have it set up, it'll balance about 150 pounds in addition to the cage. And so I have it set up with a little bit less than that. So it goes up until it hits the doors, and then those are so heavy that it just balances the counterweight. But let me move it up the rest of the way, and you can actually see the mechanism for this if you go around into this half of the room. There you go. So if you come around to this side, you're going to be able to see much better. Look up through the cage toward the window that's up over my head. Okay? Do you see the big pulley up there? There's about a 4 foot wide pulley. Okay? See the wiggling rope? When I pull on the drive rope, what I'm doing is turning that big pulley. The brake is a band of metal that sits over top, and when you pull the brake rope down, it clamps down on top, and you can't move it. But then as soon as you lift it up, there's absolutely no friction. So it makes it very easy to use the elevator. Then in the center of the pulley is a small gear that's meshed in with a big gear. The reason for that is that if you aren't geared down like that, you can't lift more than you weigh. So if there was a cast iron stove on here, which they did sell, and they had on the 3rd floor, because you can sort of see how everything all works together. Okay? You see I'm pulling the pulley, pulley turns the little gear turns the big gear, and the big gear turns the shaft that goes over to the center of the elevator cage. Now, you can stop here and you can look and you can see some other things under the cage. You see that there's 2 rocker arms back on the far side of the posts. That is shaped just right, so that for 100 years this thing can come down, catch that rocker arm, and as it rolls up the rocker arm, it opens the doors to the floor beneath. And each floor has a set of doors like that. So as it comes down, it does that. Then there are also these sets of 3 rollers that go around a wooden rail. You know why it has that? 3 rollers? Yeah, you see right here, and there's a set over there.
Keep it centered.
Keep it centered, right. When it goes through between floors, it only has about this much clearance. And so it has to be exactly centered in the cage or it's going to hit the sides. So as you come down, you look at the underside of the door and you see that the rail continues on the underside of the door. So by the time you get there, the doors are fully open, the rail is complete, and the thing is set to go smoothly on down to the next floor. And now it closes the doors to the upstairs, which is another very simple mechanism, just bars of metal on the bottom of the door, plus that little hoop-shaped thing over the elevator cage. We think about people in 1899 or so as being somehow not as smart as we are. They were just as smart, they just didn't have the technology that we do. We just, a lot of people have figured things out for us, so we don't have to. But they use things in a very efficient way. Now the last thing I want to talk about with the elevator is this. You see, the basic frame for the elevator cage is all wooden. But across the top, attached to this wooden yoke, there are some pieces of metal. Why do you think those pieces of metal are there? There are no penalties for wrong guesses, partial guesses. You see anything there you recognize? No?
Leaf spring.
Yeah, it's a leaf spring, right? That's exactly right.
It's an emergency brake.
Got it, okay. Very good. Very few people get that. But that's the elevator's emergency brake, and it works like this. The whole weight of the elevator cage is hanging from the cable, and that pulls this metal pin up tight against the bottom of the thing. You see it? And what that does is pull that leaf spring in so it's compressed. If the cable breaks, that pin drops back down through there. That makes the hinged thing open up flat, and when that opens up flat, it rotates the bar that goes across, and then these dogs over here that have the teeth on them just sort of go and grab onto the rail. So I had always thought when I was little that if you were on the elevator and the cable broke, you were gonna start falling. And you would go faster and faster and faster, and then when you got too fast, wham! You know, the brakes would come on and you'd fall and, you know, hurt yourself, all kinds of things. It's not like that at all. As soon as the cable breaks, it clicks in. So you might drop a couple inches while it's clamping in, but you wouldn't fall very far and you wouldn't fall very fast. Yeah.
I've seen all these at one time or another.
See, what happens is...
Nice shot of Glen arm, though.
You see how this has come out here and it's wrecked? Well, it's because...
I keep going past that crossing and talking about it being a former crossing. But here it is, there was still a existing crossing, whatever. Now 3:17 p.m. on this August 10th, 2008. Had enough Monpa for one day. Me neither.
Did you read the thing about the hours?
No. Oh, he said morning till 10 at night till...
I guess we'll head back down. Just had our tour of the old products. I only figured out just 2 of them. Come on, focus. There we go, that's better. Main part of the store down here. Yeah, up to date there.
Coffee
Okay.
I don't think we have magnets.
Let me see the cover.
That's a project we're
All right.
working on. Okay.
All right, guess we'll head on out.
We've had a lot of people ask for this. 50 cents.
I'm a bullfrog. I should be interested in that, shouldn't I? Get back out there. Yeah, some clouds moved in while we were inside. We should take a ride again. We've had a very informative visit here today, at least. All the folks seem to know what's going on. I haven't told them some stuff myself. Funny when you're in a place and people ask you for the history instead of them telling you. They want you to tell them.
Next train, which will be the last train running for the day, will be leaving at 4:15. It's about 28 minutes from now. If you need tickets to ride the train, the tickets are available in the station office, which is on the main floor of the store. There'll be another announcement as we get closer to the time. If you want to walk around the village, you will not miss that train. There will be an announcement. Thanks.
Look, I'm in the middle of the street and nobody's coming. I'm standing in the middle of a busy Pennsylvania highway and no one's here. Not a car in sight, not even a Pennsylvanian. So I hope you're enjoying your day on the Monpa. Hope you're enjoying your Monpa day. Why wouldn't anybody be enjoying the Monpa?